As content creators, we have to be aware of other people's copyrights as well as our own copyright on our own materials. So we're going to talk about copyright and then fair use and what fair use really means. What is fair use? Because you hear that term bandied about quite a bit. I hear it from students all the time. Well, isn't it fair use? I can use whatever I want because this is an educational project. Well, to understand fair use, you have to back up. And you have to understand some basics about copyright law. So let's talk about creative work copyright law. There are different kinds that it applies to, different things it applies to. Literary works, and that pretty much means anything that is written or it has words and pictures and is a creative work, whether it's fictional or nonfiction. Musical work, so any song, and that includes both the lyrics and the music, regardless of where it came from. Like it says here, whether from advertising jingles to symphonies, that's covered under copyright law. Dramatic works are like plays or scripts or anything like that, including any music that has been written for that dramatic work. Pictorial, graphic, and sculptural, so really any pictures, drawings, paintings, or sculptures that are 2 or 3 dimensional. And then, of course, what we're talking about, motion pictures and other audiovisual work. So this means movies, TV shows, YouTube videos, any other kind of multimedia that is produced. And then sound recordings. And that is, in addition to musical rights, might be copyright on different artists' version of the same song. And then finally, architectural work. So blueprints and building designs are also covered under copyright law. When a person owns a copyright, it gives that person the exclusive right, which means exclusive means excluding everybody else, to publish, copy, or reproduce the work, to distribute the work publicly or not publicly, whatever their choice is, to perform or display the work. The phrase, again, exclusive right means only the owner can do this, and it means only those people with permission from the owners can reproduce the work. How does one get copyright for a work, a piece of work, a video, a piece of music, whatever? Actually, copyright protection automatically happens as soon as you produce something. It applies to quote-unquote original works of authorship that are fixed in a tangible medium of expression. And that just means that you've created something, so that the minute you write something, you shoot something, you edit something, you have copyright on it, technically. You just have to be able to prove, as the owner of something that has been created, beyond the natural copyright that you have on something you've created yourself, you can also add a copyright notice with using the copyright symbol, the year, and the entity or the person that the copyright belongs to. And you can also register it with the U.S. Copyright Office, and this offers you some additional protections in the court if it ever becomes a legal issue. There's a URL at the bottom of this screen. This will be included in the module, so you can check that out more if you would like to. As content creators, it's always a good idea to understand how you own your own stuff and then how other people own their own stuff. So back to fair use. What is it? It is a legal doctrine that promotes the freedom of expression by permitting the unlicensed use of copyright protected works in certain circumstances. That means you can't just say, oh, well, it's under fair use. I can use it. I'm doing it for this or that reason. There are 4 things that are looked at when claiming to be under fair use. The purpose and the character of your use of somebody else's work. It has to be changed in some way. That's called a transformative character, and it just has to be changed in some way. What's the nature of the original copyright work? Fictional is a little more protected than factual. In other words, clips from movies are a little more protected than clips from the news. The amount and substantiality of the portion that you use. Does the use of this piece that you've used diminish the value of the original? Or does it have a large part of the original piece, right? And sometimes you hear, oh, you can use 30%, you can use 20%. There's no hard and fast rule about that. So minimal use is more advisable. And then what's the effect of the use upon the potential market? And that means, are you going to be taking money away from someone else that created this piece of work through your piece of work, right? So are you taking money away from the original artist? In general, it is fair use in areas of criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research, particularly when the 4 considerations are met. And of course, this includes educational uses. So for videos that you plan on using in a portfolio, reel, or on a site, you should use either your own video, your original video that you shot, royalty video, free video, or video that's in the public domain. And this is the same for the use of copyrighted music, unless you have permission from the copyright holder. That's a very quick overview of fair use and copyright law.